I'm 93 years old, and I'm a Holocaust survivor.
The story Edith Gross is about to tell at Town Hall in Islip is not easy for her or her audience.
My grandmother, she said, I am not going. And so a Nazi came and he just picked her up with her hand and they just threw her in another car there.
Nearly 8 decades after being loaded into a cattle car with her family en route to Auschwitz, Gross not only remembers so much of the horror, but insists on retelling it.
I ran over to my big brother and I gave him a hug. And I remember looking in his eyes and he was so scared and he's so afraid.
She recalls watching her sister being taken away, stricken with pneumonia.
She was so confused and so sick. She couldn't follow my voice. And I watched her disappear. And this was the last time that I seen her.
Edith Gross is the only one in her family who survived the death camps. On this Holocaust Remembrance Day, Gross says it is especially important for today's generations to know what can happen when hate ravages civilization.
The hunger was always that terrible hunger, and you don't get used to it. It just gets harder and harder. I just remember that terrible hunger.
Edith Gross landed in New York just after the end of the war. She got married and had a family.
Today, I'm a grandmother of 7 children and 8 great-grandchildren.
How wonderful, how wonderful.
Yes, it is wonderful, yes.
Her son calls her the ultimate survivor for having made it through hell.
Our whole life, she was very positive. She never talked about the Holocaust till she was about 50 years old, and then had a need to talk about it. And she always looked forward.
3/4 of a century after surviving genocide, Edith Gross expresses both pride in the family she raised and concern about the world they're now inheriting. Steve Langford for Newsday TV.